Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to use the world time mode on your Casio Edifice ECB-S100D. This is module 5658 from Casio. I'll say this, the world time mode works pretty similar to any other Casio watch that has a world time feature. The one big difference here is that when we look at the city codes that we can choose for our world time on the watch, if you use the cell phone app to choose your city code, you have more options than what are available on the watch. So that's the biggest difference. Today's video, I'm just going to be doing it on the watch. If you've watched my videos in the past, I give a glimpse of what it looks like on the app as well. So the way we get to our world time mode is we're going to press the bottom left button one time when we're in our main timekeeping mode. You'll see a WT down there, and this basically puts you in your world time mode. Your analog hands will be your current time for your home city. And then the digital value is going to be your world time. Now, you saw before it showed my city code real quick for my world time, and then it basically flashes across the screen. If you're not sure what your city code was, you can simply press the top left button and it'll re-show it. So Paris is the current world city code that I'm looking at. Then again, after a couple seconds, it'll turn off, show you the digital display. If you want to change that city code, you're going to use the bottom right button on the watch, and you're going to cycle through. The negative is that you can't go back. So if I want to go back to Paris, I'm going to get off of it and just have to cycle through all of them until I get back to Paris. So Paris, and then you can just sit here and keep pressing the button until you find the city code that you want. If you don't know what any of these are, you can basically let it sit there for a second, and it will give you the name. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick one. I should mention that you have city codes. You also have UTC available. The Coordinated Universal Time is available as one of your options as well. So I've gone ahead and I've set a city code. What did we choose? We chose Tokyo. The other thing you can do is you can change the DST value for your given world city. So you'll notice that I've got Tokyo set, and then there's no DST value showing up here. If you want to change the DST value while you're in the world time mode on your city, you're going to press and hold the top left button, and you'll notice it comes on and it says auto. The default is going to be auto for the DST settings. If you want to change it, you can flip it to off or you can flip it to on. In this case, I'm going to change this one to on. I'm going to press the top left button to confirm my changes, and now you can see that there's a DST value showing up here for my world city. The nice thing is it will remember it per world city. So if I get off of Tokyo and I go to something else, when I go back to Tokyo, it will remember that I wanted daylight savings time turned on. In most cases, just leaving it on auto is going to be your best bet, because then the watch will automatically adjust the DST setting based on that city code. That's pretty much it. The only other thing I can show you is, let's say you're somebody who travels. So right now my home city is Chicago. My world time city is Sydney. If I wanted to flip-flop those two, maybe I'm going to be over in Sydney for a while and I don't want to have my home one set to Chicago. While you're in your world time mode, you can press the top right button and the top left button at the same time, and it will flip-flop your city codes. So now if you notice, my world city has switched to Chicago. And if I go back to my main timekeeping, my actual analog time is now Sydney. I hope that makes sense. It basically just says, hey, instead of using my world city as the world city, make it my home city and make my home city the world city. So I'm looking at Sydney's time now, and my digital time value is Sydney. If I go to world time, my analog time is Sydney, and I can see my world time of Chicago. It's basically just a flip-flop. If I want to switch them back, I can do the same thing we just did. Now I've flipped them back. I'll let it set itself. It's pretty simple. It will remember your world city. So in my case, I've just set mine back to Sydney. If I get off of the world time mode, whenever I go back to it, it will put me at Sydney because it knows that's the last setting that I used in the world time mode. Simple stuff. You can do it on the watch, or you can set your world time value on the cell phone. That's the nice thing about this watch, is if you're a cell phone person, you can do your settings on the cell phone. If you're not a cell phone person, you don't have to use it at all. to be able to use this watch. I hope it gives you an idea of how to use the world time mode on your Casio Edifice 5658. Thanks for watching.